Hello guys, welcome to another video. Today we're gonna talk about Madrid versus Lisbon, the capital of Spain versus the capital of Portugal, which is the best place to live, retire or work. And in this video, we were going to cover the following topics. Firstly, we're gonna give a little bit of an overview regarding Madrid and Lisbon, probably a lot of information you already know. Then we're gonna talk about cost of living in both cities. Then real estate, which is a very important aspect if you want to move to a different city, followed by transportation in both Madrid and in Lisbon, moving to visa and residence permits, which is very important if you are coming from a non-EU country and you want to reside in one of these two cities. Then we're gonna talk about entertainment in both cities. Finally, coming to the language, which is also a very important aspect if you are moving to a different country which does not have English as the first language. And if you stick to the end of the video, you can listen to my personal verdict regarding Madrid and Lisbon, two of the best cities in Western Europe in my opinion. And before we start the usual talk, if you want to travel, move or invest abroad, hit the like button, check our other videos, book a consultation call, the link is in the description, and most importantly, subscribe! Let's start! Madrid is the capital of Spain and Lisbon is the capital of Portugal. But we will start our comparison with one of the sharpest differences between these two cities, their population figures. According to the most recent data, the Lisbon metro area is home to 2.8 million inhabitants. Madrid's metropolitan area is significantly bigger, with a population of 6.7 million inhabitants. So, if you are a fan of large cities, Madrid may please you more than Lisbon. But both cities are also similar in many aspects. They have excellent infrastructure, excellent healthcare, are extremely pleasant cities to live as an expat, and have some of the most flexible immigration policies for Western European countries. Madrid may be bigger and more bustling, but Lisbon has the seaside, so let's compare some aspects of these two cities. When comparing two places, may it be cities or countries, one of the first things that comes to mind is the cost of living. While Madrid used to be significantly more expensive than Lisbon, this is changing. Madrid still is in fact a bit more expensive than Lisbon in many aspects. If we talk about eating out or having a coffee, it is definitely cheaper to do that in Lisbon. But if you're looking for an apartment to rent, Lisbon and Madrid now have almost equal prices, as rents went up significantly in Lisbon in the past decade. We can't talk about the cost of living without mentioning salaries, and here we have a quite significant difference. Average salaries in Madrid are still much higher than in Lisbon, so if you're thinking about moving to one of these cities to look for a job, the same position is likely to have a higher salary in Madrid compared to Lisbon. Average salaries in Madrid are currently at approximately 1,600 euros per month, while in Lisbon they are at 1,000 euros per month, both net figures. So, if we take into account the cost of living in Madrid and Lisbon, if you have a job in one of these two cities, your purchase power is likely to be higher in Madrid. Costs are similar, but salaries are lower in Lisbon. If you are a retiree or if your income does not depend on a local job, Lisbon may still be the best option, but the advantages of Lisbon are narrowing when compared to Madrid. And to sum up everything related to money, we will now talk about real estate. Currently, rents in Lisbon are virtually the same as they are in Madrid. Madrid is just slightly more expensive. Even if salaries are much lower in Lisbon, that's not the case for the real estate market. There are many reasons pushing real estate prices up in the Portuguese capital. A higher number of apartments being used as short-term properties in platforms like Airbnb, the influx of digital nomads and retirees to Portugal, mostly pushed by the Portuguese non-habitual residence program, and the golden visa in Portugal. These are some of the factors pushing prices up in the Portuguese capital. From 2022, Lisbon will be out of the golden visa program in Portugal. This is one of the measures done by the government to try to control property prices in the Portuguese capital. A good amount of properties in Lisbon now are too expensive for the locals and their economic reality. Madrid has been historically more expensive than Lisbon, and since it is not that much sought by digital nomads and retirees, for example, prices have not risen that much in recent years in the Spanish capital. In Madrid, you can still get a property and a golden visa along with that, although a good number of investors prefer the seaside for that purpose. So, even compared to other regions of Spain, Madrid is not the most obvious choice. Now let's talk about transportation in Lisbon and Madrid. Transportation infrastructure in both cities is pretty comparable, even if Madrid is actually a much larger city. Both cities have a comprehensive urban transport network, with metro, tram and bus lines. There are also suburban trains serving the metro area and some smaller cities nearby, both in Lisbon and Madrid. When we talk about intercity trains, Madrid has an advantage over Lisbon. While Portugal has a pretty decent railway network, the fastest trains in Portugal are considerably slower than the fastest trains in Spain. That is because Spain has a network of high-speed trains. You can get from Madrid to Barcelona on a high-speed train in about 2.5 hours, covering roughly 600 kilometers. The fastest trains from Lisbon to Porto also take approximately 2 hours and a half, but the distance is just 300 kilometers, roughly half of the distance between Madrid and Barcelona. Finally, flying to both Lisbon and Madrid is quite easy, especially if you're flying from Europe. Both Madrid and Lisbon have direct flights to North and South America. Madrid has more flights to Spanish-speaking countries in Latin America, while Lisbon has more direct flights to a number of cities in Brazil and former Portuguese colonies in Africa. Moving to visa and residence permits. In terms of visa and residence permits, Portugal wins in almost all aspects. If you are an EU citizen, you can move to Spain or to Portugal without much hassle, but the process is slightly more bureaucratic in Spain. If you are a non-EU citizen, however, Lisbon has important advantages over Madrid. If you're looking for a job, it is possible to find one in Lisbon and change your status to a residence permit if you come from a visa-exempt country. In Spain, you normally will have to get a job and apply for a visa before you come to Spain, so in your country of residence, even if you come from a visa-exempt country like the US or the UK. There are a few exceptions to this in Spain. For investor visas or the D7 visa in Portugal and the non-lucrative visa in Spain, all aimed at non-EU citizens, you have to apply from abroad. There are two comparable options to live in Lisbon and Madrid if you have passive income from a pension, or if you are a digital nomad or investor. But there is one key difference. The financial requirements needed to live in Lisbon in that category are much, but really much lower than in Madrid. Next topic is entertainment. When we talk about entertainment, both Lisbon, Portugal and Madrid, Spain are definitely among the best cities in Europe. There are so many advantages favoring both cities when compared to most other European capitals. As I mentioned earlier, Madrid is a much larger city, allowing this city to offer more entertainment options than Lisbon on any day of the week. But on the other hand, Lisbon is still an excellent city with plenty of options in terms of restaurants, bars and nearby city getaways. Lisbon also has the sea, which for some makes it an easy choice between the two cities. Now let's talk about the language, which is very important when you're moving to a different country. In Madrid, the official language is Spanish, and in Lisbon, Portugal, it is obviously Portuguese. They are both extremely similar, but it is easier to learn Spanish, in my opinion, than learning Portuguese. Here is the reason. In spoken Spanish, the pronunciation of the words almost always follows what is written, which is not the case at all in Portuguese. In Portuguese, it is quite common to shorten words or vowels and consonants to have different sounds depending on the part of the word they are. Spanish also has an advantage that it is spoken by more speakers in the world than Portuguese, including both native speakers and also speakers of Spanish as a second language. So, in my opinion, it is easier to learn Spanish, and you will also be able to find more Spanish speakers when you are outside Spain than Portuguese speakers when you are outside Portugal. In both cases, regardless whether you're moving to Portugal or Spain, I highly recommend you learning the local language. And now finally my personal verdict regarding Madrid and Lisbon. Both Madrid and Lisbon are highly livable cities. They both offer a great infrastructure and a number of entertainment options. If you prefer the beach, obviously Lisbon has an edge, but at the same time you have more entertainment options and restaurants to go in Madrid. If you like a more cosmopolitan life, Madrid is definitely the way to go, but Lisbon is a large city and a capital, so you'll definitely not feel bored there. If you want to invest in real estate, Madrid now has a better value than Lisbon, but I consider both cities overpriced for the time being when we talk about property prices. Personally, I would prefer Lisbon during the summer months, as in Madrid it can be quite hot quite often, but if we consider all options, they are both really amazing cities, and even for me it is quite difficult to choose one. I would be glad to live in any of them. That's it for today's video. Write down below in the comment section which city do you prefer. And also watch our other videos, we have plenty of them talking about life in Portugal and in Spain. That's it for today's video. If you want to travel, move, or invest abroad, hit the like button, check our other videos, book a consultation call with me, the link is in the description, and most importantly, subscribe! See you next time.